Welcome to More Patients, More Impact, More Income, the podcast for real holistic medical practitioners who want to grow their high-impact, high-income practice without selling out. And now, here's your host, Chris Axelrad. You're listening to More Patients, More Impact, More Income. Today, we have something a little different for you. It's a 3-part series called The Secret of Effortless Patient Attraction. Here's Chris with part 1.
All right, so this is Effortless Patient Attraction Secrets. How to create a self-running system that fills your schedule and keeps it full so you can get to focus on what you love, which is taking care of patients. So if you want to easily keep your schedule full, so one of the things that happens with people is, you have a week or two where you have a lot of patients and then it just kind of drops off. And then there's another week you have a lot of patients and then it drops off. That inconsistency really gets to be a drag. It can be very stressful. Just wondering, when is the schedule going to fall apart again, right? So with what I'm going to teach you here today, again, you're going to be able to keep your schedule full without a whole lot of effort and generate referrals without being all salesy, asking for referrals, trying to give people incentives to refer. Not to say that that's wrong, but one of the things I appreciate and I'm so grateful for with my practice is the fact that we don't ever ask people for referrals. They actually refer because they want to. They refer because they really want to share us with their loved ones and their friends. So that really makes me feel good. We don't have to poke and prod them to refer. If you are the type of person who doesn't like to do marketing, people think, now I'm not gonna lie, for me marketing has been fun, but it wasn't always fun because when it wasn't working, it sucked. It's fun when it works. When it doesn't work, it sucks. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But who wants to focus all their time on marketing or most of their time on marketing? What we went to school for was to learn how to take care of people, learn how to help people. That's what I'm doing at this point in my practice. Now, I'm only working 2 days a week at this point in my practice. I have 3 associates, and they're also working anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week each. And I don't have to work 5 days a week anymore. I kind of miss it, honestly. I just got to where I'm not working on Mondays. So I was working Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'm not working on Mondays, so I only work on Wednesdays and Fridays in the clinic. Although I'm doing business owner stuff and I'm making sure everything's running smoothly, the practice just runs itself. We have a very clear, consistent, and powerful process that just runs itself. And we focus on the practitioners and actually even the people in the office. Nobody is drowning and getting overwhelmed. Everybody gets to focus on what they're doing. And the whole operation and the whole thing is centered around taking care of our patients. And we really do very little marketing at this point. We're about 80% word of mouth, 75% word of mouth, 20 to 25% of our patients come from advertisements, which I think is really important. I will never stop advertising. I've had people tell me, why do you keep spending money on ads if you've got so much word of mouth? And, short answer to that is I don't want to rely on word of mouth alone because I don't control word of mouth. I don't control if my patients are talking about me or not directly, but I can directly control my ads. I can spend more and then more people will see them. And then if I am doing well and I just want to pull back a little bit for a while, I can. But the ads really give me control of my patient flow. If I wanted to double my ad spend tomorrow, which I could do, we would probably get 30 more patients this month. That's how good it works. Right now, we don't have the capacity for that. So we're not going to do that. That's what it boils down to. This is going to be game-changing stuff, okay? So again, I'm Chris Axelrad, making sure that you just know I'm not some marketer. I'm not even really a coach. I don't even like to call myself a coach. I like to call myself a practice success mentor because I actually mentor people. I practice what I preach. I model what I teach. So, although I do coach people, like people ask me for help and I do get on the phone with people and talk to them. We get on Zoom sessions and work on their problems. So it's definitely not to where I'm not coaching, but I just like people to know, like, I actually have a practice. Okay. And I work in my own clinic, and we have 3, and we're about to have 4 locations. Next week, I'm going to go look at some more space because Houston is this like just massive sprawl, and people don't like to go outside their neighborhood. It's a lot like LA. The people in Santa Monica are not going to drive to wherever. I don't know LA that good, to Pasadena or something or whatever. The people in San Diego, there's different parts of San Diego, and literally like, to go 10 miles might take you 45 minutes. Houston is not quite that bad, but it's a lot more spread out. So when I wanted to really grow my practice and really take it to the next level, I realized that the best way to do that was going to be to open another location. And I did that. I opened a second location, then we opened a third location. And now we're looking at a fourth one. The point is, I'm not making this shit up. Everything I'm about to tell you is true, okay? I'm going to tell you things that work. And look, the things that work, work. And the things that don't work, they don't work, all right? You can do things that don't work, and you can do them harder, or you can do them longer, or you can do them with more effort, or you can do them, during the night instead of the day, and they still will not work. Whereas you can do things that work and do them, longer with more effort at day and night, and they will work. Okay, so no matter how many times we keep trying to do stuff that doesn't work, it just doesn't work. And anything can be put on autopilot. I talk about this term autopilot a lot because I'm really big on systems. Systemizing things is the key to having success. Absolutely. And if you look at Chinese medicine is a system. Everything, even the classical Chinese medicine texts, they were really creating and outlining systems of how things worked and how to understand things systematically. And that's because systems give us power, and really nature is one big system. I always kind of chuckle when people say, well, we do natural medicine and we really need to be, just in the moment, And I'm like, well, I don't know if you noticed, but nature is pretty repetitive. Nature is like winter, spring, summer, fall, day and night. And the moon goes around the earth every 28 days. I mean, it's like insanely repetitive and systematic. And the reason is because nature knows that's the most powerful. Power comes from rhythm and ritual systems. You can systemize anything, and you can even systemize shit that doesn't work. And that's where people get screwed up. Their habits and their rituals and their systems are not based on things that work, including marketing. Garbage marketing habits just lead to a bigger and bigger pile of garbage results. At this point, I'm never amazed anymore at the fact that I do talk to a lot of people, and what they're doing isn't really working, but they're really not doing anything different. One of the reasons that they're talking to me is because they're realizing finally that, they do need to learn something else. That it's just, they're not going to grow with what they have. It's just not going to happen. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting for that thing that they've been doing to finally start working. And then they realize, well, I guess it's just never going to work. So that's important. So here's the big picture of what you're about to learn, okay? You're going to learn stuff that works, and you're going to learn why it works, and I'm going to tell you stuff that doesn't work, and I'm going to tell you why that doesn't work, and I'm going to tell you how to simplify the stuff that does work and basically put it on autopilot so it just works all the time, and that's the key. And so here's the goal that we're shooting for, okay? We want a full schedule, whatever that means for you. It's like you don't get special points if you see 100 patients a week. If that's not what you want, There are some people who think that they're going to get a special trophy because they're seeing 1 million patients, but then they're miserable. They're overwhelmed. They don't have time for their family. They're just not happy in their life. So what's the point of that? The key is to know what a full schedule means for you and then get there. And then you want to have a schedule that is full with the types of patients you want to be working with. These are the people who actually want to get better, people who are not going to be, a pain in the ass and not do anything you tell them to do. People who really want help and they really appreciate your work. And that's one of the things, again, that I'm so grateful for in my practice. When I show up every day, I'm super excited to see my patients, and we have a blast. And they all are very on board with what we do. You want more new patients just like them booking every day. And you want that to all be happening while you're busy taking care of the patients you already have, right? I mean, like, you have a full schedule and you're not out there hustling. Your only effort is being a healer, being someone who helps people. And you're doing it every day, all the time. And you're not expending a bunch of marketing effort. You're not out there just trying to go convince people to come to your office. And you're making a real impact and you're earning a real income. So that's the goal. To me, that's the dream, You know that you're changing people's lives. You know that you're really helping them. And you're also actually making a living. You're fulfilled with your life. So here's the stuff we can do all day long that will not create these results. Running discounts and specials. The only thing that happens when you run discounts and specials is you just get a bunch of people looking for discounts and specials. And high pressure prepaid package sales do not get us to a consistently full practice with tons of referrals. Because when you have to push people into big packages, they're really not saying yes. They're just agreeing to do it. But they're not saying, yes, I want this. Accepting insurance or getting patients from insurance boards. Not that you can't see a lot of insurance patients, but insurance patients typically end up either when their benefits run out, they're just like, I'm done. Or they are looking for a quick fix. Or they don't really have like serious problems. They're just like, oh, I have acupuncture benefits. I might as well use them. And that, to me, man, I've never taken insurance, okay? These are the only things that I've heard from other people. But I can just tell you right now, I'm really glad I've never taken insurance. To go to networking meetings and health fairs, again, networking meetings, it's like you're talking to roofers and restaurant owners and, all these different types of business owners. It's great. It's a great place to meet people. But and then they refer to you out of obligation. They're out there like prospecting for you, but you end up just getting referred people who just kind of feel like they're obligated to come just because so-and-so recommended you, not because they are self-motivated by their own pain. Same thing with health fairs. Although we do go to health fairs from time to time, but we don't have the illusion that we're going to get patients at the health fairs. It's just more like to go meet people and stuff. To cold call doctor's offices and offer lunch and learns. Host happy hours and other teaser events like come do the acupuncture happy hour. Come do, you see all these drink companies that have like these super, like the acai berry drinks and all this. And it's like, come do a happy hour and, drink your antioxidants and stuff. That just attracts curiosity seekers. So this is a little controversial, but I'm just going to say it. Getting a doctoral degree and acting like a doctor so people will think you're more legit. Don't do that because you think you're going to get more patients. Because the same marketing problems apply to doctors. Like right now, there are MDs who are struggling and they have a doctoral degree. And it's because they're making the same mistakes I'm about to tell you. I'm not saying don't get a doctoral degree. I'm just saying don't do it thinking it's going to help you market your practice. It's not going to make you any smarter at marketing, and it's not going to make people like you more.
If you're ready to fill your practice and keep it full without the stress and overwhelm, then get instant access to your free autopilot patient attraction playbook now at www.highimpactpracticesystems.com/autopilot.
So the thing is, these things don't work, and it also sucks doing them. For me, it just sucks. I don't want to do them. And I don't even want to go back to school. I tried to go back to school for a doctorate, and I had one semester, and I was out. I could not handle it. Mainly because, my practice is that busy, and it was just killing me. Like those classes, I was just exhausted. So these things suck, and I'm not going to be doing any of those things again anytime soon. And again, why does none of this stuff work? Discounts and specials attract people looking for discounts and specials, high pressure package sales. Just put pressure on them, and actually put pressure on you too. It's a really weird dynamic, man. And it just puts a weird dynamic into the relationship. So I don't like to do it. Most insurance patients quit as soon as their benefits run out. When was the last time you saw a brain surgeon in a networking meeting or a health fair? Like an actual brain surgeon, like someone who's a real expert. They're too busy helping people. They don't have time to do that. 99% of doctors and their staff, they don't want lunch and learns. They don't care what you do. They don't want to sit there and watch a PowerPoint. There's another way to meet doctors. I have really good referral relationships with doctors, and I didn't do a lunch and learn with any of them. I used to do lunch and learns, and they didn't work. So I started doing this other thing because I figured out, okay, this doesn't work. And I figured out something that did. And then everything started to improve. And again, when was the last time you saw a brain surgeon have a happy hour or free brain scan event? Come in and get your brain scan for free. Let's see what's going on up in there. No, they don't do that, right? Do you even know what all those letters after your doctor's name, like if you've been to, hopefully you haven't been to a brain surgeon, okay? But if you've been to a specialist and a medical specialist and you see their letters and you don't even know what the fuck they mean, does that make them any less credible to you? No, what makes them credible is the fact that they're an expert in what they do. What makes them credible is the way they talk to you and the way that they propose solution to the problem that you have. That's what makes them credible. So the key, stop doing all that stuff and hoping it's starting to work. Just stop. It's not going to work. And learn how to do stuff that does work and keep doing it over and over. So here's what I'm going to share with you today. It's simple. It requires no hustle, no prospecting. It's insanely efficient. It can be put on autopilot. And that's why people don't believe it works. People don't believe it works. They want things to be complicated. People love complicated shit, okay? They love the hard work myth. You got to bust your ass. Hard work. Then that's how you get where you want to go. Smart work is actually the way to go. And what I'm going to teach you is smart, not hard. Most people, they don't feel like they're actually doing something important unless they're busy. And it's challenging. It's funny. Like fertility doctors, I work in fertility mostly. Fertility specialists, like MDs, there's like 3 or 4 procedures that they do. There's about 5 or 6 drugs that they use. And that's it. And they do that for 30 years, for 20 years. Same tests, same drugs, same procedures. Do you think they get bored? I'm sure that if they focused on the stuff they were doing, they'd be bored as shit. But the bottom line is, it's not about whether I'm bored or not, or whether I'm challenged or not. It's about, are the patients getting better? Are the patients having a positive experience, and are they getting results? And again, most people will keep trying stuff that doesn't work because they think they're doing it wrong versus the thing they're doing doesn't work, okay? So this is why a lot of people don't make progress. They overthink. So here, embrace simple stuff. Embrace the simple. Okay. It's the STS method. Simplify that shit. Simplify. Okay. If it's complicated and it's overwhelming, then you're overthinking it. Okay. Always look at how to work smarter, not harder. Constantly be obsessed with optimizing your process. If something is hard and difficult, take a step back and look at it and figure out why it's so fucking difficult and why it's so exhausting, and change it as soon as possible. And then get over the myth that doing great things requires pain and struggle. It does not. It does not. It does require commitment. It does require discipline. It does require consistency, but it doesn't have to be painful, and it does not have to be a struggle. Okay? And be willing to learn new ways of doing things. Sometimes, in fact, I would say most of the time, you're wrong. Most of the time, I'm wrong. I've learned that. I've learned to let go of what I think is right and let other people teach me and guide me and help me. I invest thousands of dollars a year in coaching myself. I've been doing that for the last 4.5, 5 years. Hardcore, to the tune of, I've definitely invested more than $100,000 in coaching in the last 5 years, all added up together. But I've spent a lot of money to get really fucking good coaches who could really help me get my shit together. Because when my practice started to blow up, initially I was buried. I did not know how to be the kind of owner and boss that I needed to be. And it was crushing me, and I was going to burn out. This was the second real big growth spurt my practice had around 2013, 2012, where we had our second location really started to take off, and our main location just blew up. And we were like, and I suddenly had 4 employees, and I was just like stumbling through that shit, trying to figure it out all on my own. And finally, I broke down and I had to get help, and I didn't screw around and hire. I really made sure that I vetted and hired a really, really killer coach. And that was the first step. And then, of course, since then, I've moved along through different things. And it's, at every phase of the way, I'm trying to get help in the areas where I suck, basically. And you always suck at some level, because as we grow, okay, the new level is new and we suck at it. You do learn ways of thinking, and it's like skills of how to think that will make the learning curve less as you get better and better. But no matter what, as you grow, you're always going to hit that next level where you can't figure it out. And you have to work on it, and you have to, untie the knots and kind of, unravel the mysteries, so to speak. So, the sooner, for me, another piece of advice for you is the sooner that you can make peace with the fact that you are always there's always going to be shit you don't know. You're always going to screw shit up to a certain degree. And it's okay. It's okay, because you're learning. And like I always say, probably the biggest difference between myself and most of the people that are watching this and most of the people that I meet who I help are that I have failed 10 times more than you already. And all my failures have been learning experiences. And that's the biggest thing, is to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Don't stop. I just want to let you know how I learned all this stuff, which was I used to I still play drums, but I went to undergrad at North Texas to study jazz. And I was practicing 8 hours a day on my drums. The problem was the teacher I had before I went to college taught the technique that he taught me how to hold the sticks was totally wrong. And I was using way too much force and way too much energy. And I ended up blowing out my tendons in my arms. I had severe tendonitis to the point where I had to literally stop playing for about 4 months. Now, when your major is music and you can't play your instrument, that's a problem. But what it forced me to do was to go to learn from someone at the college. And I had to start from ground zero. Like I was literally learning how to play all over again, the strokes and everything. But what he taught me was so efficient and so easy and so effortless that I'll never forget that. I realized that I had spent so many years doing everything the hard way, and it did cost me. Thankfully, it didn't cost me my career or whatever as a musician, but it could have if I kept going. And this person showed me an insanely efficient way to hold the sticks, to strike the drum, to leverage the gravity and all that kind of stuff. It was like learning Tai Chi on the drums. And next thing I knew, not only was I over my tendonitis, but my skill level just skyrocketed because I wasn't working so hard. I was getting way more sound and way more velocity with way less effort. Okay. And that whole mindset kind of translated as I went and became a software engineer, where my job was to optimize code and to get things to run as fast as possible with the least amount of code. And then now that's what I do in my practice with my patients, and it's what I do with the business part too. So we got to learn how to be efficient, and we've got to ritualize and habitualize that efficiency. And that comes with practice, and it also comes with doing things that are time leveraged and energy leveraged. And that's what I'm going to give you 3 very important things that are going to help you do that. I like this quote: the most difficult thing to do is to let go of the idea that doing great things needs to be difficult. Let go of that idea that it has to be difficult, because it doesn't. So here's what we're going to learn. I'm going to tell you the big mistake that most practitioners make that crushes their chances of ever having a busy, thriving practice. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you the magic leverage point in marketing and how you can use it to attract 10 times more patients with 10 times less work. Okay. It's this one thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would say 95% of practitioners are doing this wrong. And it's so simple. Again, it's going to be one of these things where you're going to be like, no, it can't be that simple. Yeah, it is that simple. I promise. And I'm going to tell you how to locate your most critical target market and instantly start attracting more and more of them with a process rooted in trust and authenticity, not persuasion and convincing and selling. And the results are simple, okay? You're going to fill your schedule. You're going to have the types of patients you want to be working with who want to get better. You're going to have more new patients booking every day, all while you're busy taking care of the patients you already have. And you're not going to be making a ton of effort into your marketing. You're not going to be putting a ton of energy and effort into your marketing, okay? And you're going to have a real impact and make a real income. It's that simple.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.